Okay, so in this video, we're going to go over the webinars. So this is, so here we are, we have webinars for investor rep, landlord rep, and tenant rep. And then I have the link for the original slides. If you do want to add more information to it, this one has additional slides that might fit your needs. So as per usual, I open it up and I cannot edit it. So let's do what the big red box says, which is file, make a copy, entire presentation. So I'm going to go into my drive here. I'm going to add an additional thing, webinars. All right, I'm going to select. I'm going to take out copy of, drives me nuts, but I am going to make a copy. And again, if you are having problems finding what you saved, just Google Drive and log in. You will be able to find the folder that you saved it in and all of that information. So here it is, how we market your property. And so what a webinar is, it's usually about 40 minutes to an hour of it's a framework presentation. So this is the I understand that you do this thing, but how exactly do you do that? So that is what the webinar basically answers. And so what I did here was I chose some topics. So for investor rep, it was how we market your property, because that's probably the number one concern is I'm going to give you my property. How exactly are you going to turn it around as fast as possible? Same thing with vacant space. Same question: how are you going to turn around my vacant spaces as fast as possible? And how can we find the perfect business space if you're doing tenant rep? So and then I just sort of laid it out here, how we market your property, and it's going to be the same thing. Where this is we use a robust strategy to get your property sold quickly. Selling quickly is obviously the problem here, and this is what you're going to solve. Now, I have broken it down by our processes, and you can go in here and change stuff. And if you're like, yeah, I don't do all of that, I am not going to, do nine different things for my processes. I have some other stuff available too, where I have just a 6-step process. So if you don't do every single thing in this area and you don't have anything else like to add in, feel free to use this one instead, or feel free to use this one instead. So this is just for you to be able to choose based on how many things that you do within the process of getting the building sold. So let's assume that you do, the 9 things. So one thing that I'm going to suggest that you do is, you duplicate the slide. So the very first thing that they're going to see, obviously, is just our process. And what I would suggest you do is you can make a whole bunch of these. So I'm just going to hit duplicate slides so that you can kind of see where I'm kind of going with this. So the very first one that they see when you're doing the presentation, I actually don't want to show any info at this point. So all you're going to do is just talk about your process. Oops, delete, delete. Delete. Okay, so this is going to be your very first slide, right? So this is going to be we sold your property quickly. Here's our process. So the next slide is going to be your just number one, which is going to be comparable research. So we're going to, and then this slide is where you're just going to talk about comparable research. So, and then this particular slide, you're just going to talk about slide number one, comparable research. You're probably going to talk about where you get your comparables. So, like, I pull a report from CoStar. I use, your area. So, like, I take the entire Las Vegas metro area, or I take like 10 miles within the radius, 5 miles within a radius, and I find, similar properties that are sold in your area. So, you're going to go through some of the things that you do in the comparable research process. And then you're going to go to the next slide, which is going to be number 2. So I got to delete all these other ones. But once you have this finished, I mean, you can do them for all of them. Now, the reason why I don't have it all already set for you is because if you were to change out any of these things, so say you don't want to put broker of opinion, say you are going to do like you're not going to do all the work to do an actual broker opinion of value. You're just going to do like a fair market value assessment or something like that. You would have to change every single one of the slides at that point. So that's why I just leave like just the one, and then you have to kind of just delete stuff as you go to create our process processes. But you kind of get the gist of it here. You're going to do our processes. You're going to go over it. You're going to go over comparable research. You're going to go over, what comes in the broker opinion of value. And then the next one, of course, will be pricing strategy. And then you're going to, the next one will be photography. And then, how you do each one of these. So you will do each one of those for each one of the 9 ones until they're all shown and in this. And then at the very end of it, so when you're done with your framework, you're going to do the are you ready to get started? So here is, okay, we've gone through the problem. I'm gone through how I'm going to solve your problem. And now let's go ahead and get started with the broker opinion of value. And by the way, if you don't want to call it that, you don't want to do the full reports, fair market value assessment, anything like that, you can go ahead and add it. Okay, 3-step process again. It can be easy. I will, do these 3 steps for you in order to calculate your property value. Again, feel free to change any of these if you do want them. Also, here I have a bunch of other icons here for you so that you can copy and paste them. If once you change these out, they no longer apply. This is the negative stakes. Don't waste your time, don't waste your money, and then you can go ahead and change these if you feel like you need to. And then get your broker opinion of value. This is just positive stakes, your street cred, other people that have solved their problems with you. And particularly, if you are doing like the investor rep ones, like try to just choose people that just did, selling or buying properties with you. So that it's just those, as long as you can. If you only have like a couple of testimonials, just use whatever you have. But it is better to just use the clients that you've actually solved this particular problem on. And then, of course, the call to action, which is find the value of your property, and then how you will go about doing that. The thank you page, again, it just has all the credits for all of the free stuff that you have. So all of these, images and the stuff are all from free stuff. And we will go over also how to insert a new picture into here. All I'm going to do is going to hit this and then by search computer. So I'm going to pop it in this way. All I'm going to do is just kind of move it into place. And then I'm going to hit order, send to back. And then I'm going to, I think it's format options. Yeah. Recolor, black and white. And then you can also, like, it's a little bit too bright. So I'm going to make it a little bit down. There we go. So that way you can actually see your slide. And you can do that too with all the other ones. You can just pop in a new picture from one of the free. I have a bunch of websites with free images right there. And you can use that. You can use photography from properties that you've sold, et cetera, et cetera. You can change this to whatever you want. So the big question is, how do I record this and make it available for people when they want to watch it? So with a webinar, a lot of times webinars are live, and I do really like Webinar Jam. I can go home here. And I will pause this. So Webinar Jam is, I feel like the prices are very reasonable for all of the stuff that it has, because when you do a live webinar, it's going to have, the hold on page, like when somebody like logs in at 2 o'clock or wherever your webinar is, it has like the whole countdown situation, and then it comes on and then you're live, and then it has a little chat thing on the side where people can ask you questions in real time, and then you can swap, and then you can even with Webinar Jam, you can have it so that it has like your desktop and then a little picture of, the webcam of you in the side, and it's really nice, but it is kind of pricey. If you did want to do just the webinar, but without the live feature of it, then I would suggest just recording it and just putting it on YouTube and just putting it behind a wall where somebody does have to fill out a form in order to receive it. And that's with, honestly, every single thing here that I am teaching you. Every single thing should be behind a form for people to fill out in order to receive it. So how do you record yourself doing it? So one of the easier ways to do it, of course, would be Loom has a free ability in order for you to do your desktop and then have a little picture of yourself. That picture of yourself is optional, so you can turn that off. So if you did just want to have the slides and then your voice over it, you can do that. And so when you do get this, you can download your video and then put it on YouTube in order for other people to watch it as well. So that's a really good option. If you are not scared of technology, I personally use OBS, and OBS Studios is free, so you can just download it directly here. You can download it, I believe, also from the Microsoft Store and maybe from the Apple Store for free as well. But I will show it to you. It's going to get a little, it's going to get a little bit, what is it called? Inception, where it's and it shows a bunch of it because, obviously it's recording. So, it's very cool though in the fact that you have, your microphone here, you can put your webcam and then you can have, the display capture, which is your screen right here. You can move stuff too, so you can move it around. You can move your webcam, so if you want it a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, you can do that. And you can even do, like, if you didn't want the webcam, you just want to do the screen capture and then your voice, you don't have to have the webcam at all. You just turn it off. So I really like this. It is free, and then once you have it, once you hit stop recording, it just saves it directly onto your desktop. So all you have to do is just take it and then pop it directly into YouTube. And from on YouTube, I believe you can edit it, so you can just take out the part where it looks like this, and then the part at the end where, oh, again, it looks like this because you're turning it off. So it's a very great system. I really like OBS, and another thing I'm going to tell you is you do need to get yourself a good mic if you are going to do an audio video presentation. So my super early videos had this horrible reverb in it because I was using a $20 mic, and what I'm going to suggest to you is Blue Yeti. Hopefully you can hear me still. So Blue Yeti, I bought it off of Amazon. It's about $100. I highly recommend you get yourself a good mic. You can get away with having a bad webcam. You can get away with having even not great like visual quality all of the time. Like, people are just kind of used to it. But audio quality, people will turn it off just because it's so annoying in their ears that they can't handle it. So if you do spend any money on this, like, you don't have to get yourself a nice HD camera. You don't have to get yourself fancy software. You don't have to get yourself anything except for a good microphone. So spend the $100 on a good microphone. You will not regret it, I promise. All right, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and go ahead and get started on working on your webinar slides.